the threshold spot of it.
Okay. And then if God's complete in himself, would he have to be simple? Or could he have multiplicity within unity or something like that?
I mean, I think definitionally we'd have to say that this thing that provides purpose in universal observation, because it's doing that, we can't observe it ourselves, or else it's no longer an observer outside the system. So we are limited to the extent to which we can know what God's nature or will would be, except for the two things that I said necessarily must be in order for the thing to fulfill its job as being God. It has to be basically omnipresent in the sense that it can observe everything in the universe concurrently so that it can make it stay real even when we're not looking at it. And then the other thing it's got to do is provide one way or another in ways we do not have to understand how or why he does this or how we get to know it or anything. But we have to accept the fact that somehow we are, without knowing any specifics about how this could be or even necessarily what it is, that we are somehow purposed to take a given life course over other life courses or some potentialities over others. And it's possible to make a mistake. You know, it's possible to fuck up.
That's it.
Even likely to fuck up. I am not without sin. I have sinned before.
No.
It's true, Mark. I know. It seems like I'm sin-free, but I actually sin occasionally. Like I go, yes, god damn it, I uploaded. I already said that. Did I not put the link? Well, let me see if I can find it. Cool Taxonomy Project. Yeah.
The point for simpleness would just be that multiplicity can't come from multiplicity. It has to come from something simple. Because we don't see that in other places, basically.
Okay, but
so the argument is like, I'm saying I necessarily agree with this, but his argument is that intellect, which is, the realm of forms and metaphysics and everything, that in it is thinking. So there's the thinker, the thought, and the thinking, and they're all equally the same thing and equivalent to one another, but at the same time, they're also divided in the sense that there's a thinker, there's a thought, and there's a thinking. And therefore, it's multiplicity within unity, and therefore it can't be the one true God. It would be a God, but it wouldn't be ultimate one God because it's not single. So it has to think something, so it has to think this one thing. And the one doesn't think because it already has itself. There's nothing for it to think about to obtain. It's intellect that's trying to obtain the one, and in doing so, it creates forms and thinks about stuff and whatnot.
Okay, I'm sorry to be distracted from this, Mark, but what the fuck are you talking about? That's what we were looking at yesterday, is that file. We were looking at this. The same thing I just sent to you. All right, let me share the screen. You're looking at this, right? 7 pages or whatever. Let me see. I'll save it. Extra T. When you put an extra T, everything gets better. There. Finally, I've solved all of the world's problems. Everyone, you're welcome. Everyone was waiting and waiting. And then Eric said, here you go. Bong hits and speed for everyone. And all the world's problems were solved. You mean that's all we needed, Eric? More bong hits and speed? Yes. See how it helps you to ignore your religious faith and things like that? No, it doesn't. Okay, well, if they're good, then it'll help you have more of them. If they're bad, it'll help you ignore them. And that's one to grow on. I get annoyed a lot. Do I? No, casual INTP is annoyed with me constantly. He's in a constant state of being annoyed with Eric. I don't think you're a 9. You're not a 9. That's such bullshit. You're such not a 9. You're such a 1, dude. Who tested you as a 9? Not me. You want to be Enneagram tested? I'm the best Enneagram tester. Guess blanky typed you as a 9. Well, you're not a 9. You, my friend, are a 518 or a 514. You might eventually become a 513. Well, I've had enough arguments with Casual to know that he's neither interested in sitting there and slap fighting forever. He does like to find a resolution, but he's also not interested in just smoothing shit over. He's willing to engage in clash until he feels as though his shit's been addressed properly. And that's very 1-like in terms of points in dispute. It's an argumentary style more than anything else. A lot of INTPs are 1s. Well, if you have 8, whatever you have in the third slot is going to be hard to see. It's kind of, mine is unusual. My 3 shows more brightly than it actually exists, right? So I appear to be higher achieving than I really am. And I don't care about achievement very much, but I'm not exactly a 4 either. I don't want to be an iconoclast because ultimately I want to be loved by everybody. So
yeah, I watched your video on that, on the iconoclast, and you said that an 854 would be rare, which is what I think I am.
Well, I think it gets clouded because 8 has such a connection to 5 that.
Well, he's saying the 4 at the end would be rare, I think, is what he said.
Oh, what?
No, it doesn't work for me as an ENTP. For ENTPs, a 4 is a natural thing to occur until they realize that it has a low ceiling on being loved. So
Okay.
I want to answer homie here. You say it's more simplistic than you think. First of all, you don't know how simplistic I think it is. And you say, to find the triad, observe your true connection to fear. If it's anxiety or anger, and choose which is more apparent. That is a generally accepted understanding of it. I would point out that a better way to look at it is simply this, that your 567 is about existential terror, the reality that we're all going to die. 891 is about what you do in conflict, how you react to it. And basically, do you want to win? Do you want to fix? Or do you want everybody to win? And, if you want everybody to win, you're a 9. If you want to win, you're an 8. If you want to fix it, you're a 1. And 9s want to compromise. The 1s don't want to compromise. Like casual INTP doesn't want to compromise. So then as far as the 2, 3, 4, that one's easy. How do you make yourself look good or feel good in front of other people? How do you make sure that you're not feeling ashamed of yourself? Do you help? Be useful? Do you achieve? Say like, hey, look, I'm a big wig. Or do you say, fuck all y'all, I'm an iconoclast? Now, it may be probably even likely that some other descriptors of Enneagram would be more consistent with the official description of it. But as always, I maintain that my description is preferable, and we should use mine because it's more accurate, not because it's more consistent with the official narrative.
I'm watching the video to see exactly what you said.
Yeah, I understand that it's very possible to say, and I concede all these points, that your representation of Enneagram may be more consistent with the official description of it. My position is mine's better, so we should use mine. It's more accurate to the extent that it conflicts with the official one, because mine's built upon actual pure intuition, consistency, and it's organically built out of actual reality rather than a model forced upon reality. Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's not any of those things. It's not accurate. It's not inaccurate. It's not contradictory. Or it's not controversial. What the tri-type is a way that we can reduce the description of ourselves from anything in the world to less than anything in the world. Now, it's descriptive in the sense that it's consistent with behaviors that would manifest were the mechanisms of the model correct. But remember, the mechanisms of the model are not describing actual physical mechanisms at all. They're describing metaphysical relational phenomena. So as a consequence, the best way to look at it is simply that when breaking our taxonomy and human existence into these relational phenomena, we ought to frame them through the following frames: conflict, perceptions, and self-interest, or self-preservation. Conflict, perceptions, and self-preservation are really what we're talking about with the body, heart, and head.
So your point was there's assertive and withdrawn, and you said it would be unlikely that there would be an assertive withdrawn. Be more likely if it was withdrawn assertive.
That would be more likely, yeah. Or more, it would be more logically, it would be more sensible, I guess, is a better way to put it. Great. Listen, Blanky. If you agree with something, great. If you don't agree with something, tell me why it's wrong. However, if you agree with something, don't tell me that it's too basic to have been spoken. Then you're just being a snotty little bitch. My critique of what? What were you talking about, Blanky? I mean, I'm just describing how I tri-type people and why I think the tri-type is a meaningful taxonomy of human existence. Remember, it's not what you keep calling it. It's not a model. It's a taxonomy. It's a taxonomy that includes mechanisms. If it were a model, it would be falsifiable. There'd be something falsifiable there. There's something falsifiable. Its falsifiability is entirely based on its relational absoluteness, not on its objective absoluteness. So it's consistent within itself only. It's like 2 + 2 = 4 does not